in some strange way, I grew up between the two pictures. Now, as a child, it's very hard to comprehend, World War I and 1916, especially when some of the Irish were fighting in World War I, and some of the Irish were fighting in 1916 in the Rising. And we've always that dichotomy. And as a child, I was trying to figure out this character who seemingly appeared in both wars. He had been in World War I, seemingly deserted, and then ended up in 1916. I don't know. I come from Granite County, Longford. I don't know how true that is. But anyway, I love the story. And to find opposite walls, and of course, it's the poem, the lead poem from my first collection. Opposite walls. The Battle of Mons hung on the wall, a black and white print of the 9th Lancers charging. Horses' eyeballs wild with war, fierce spikes on the German helmets. Across from Mons, on the opposite wall, a print of the 1916 Rising, sandbags piled in the windows, Connolly on a stretcher, Pierce's side face pale with the thoughts of surrender. The Kaiser Kelly fought in both wars, my father said. Every time I sat down to eat, I saw him leave Mons, hurdle over plates, sugar and milk, across the table to be in Dublin for the Rising. Strange the way children try to comprehend the difficulties of Irish history. Now this poem, the next poem, is actually a letter, a ghostly letter, from Sheridan, Thomas Sheridan, the great Sheridan family of Quilca House in Cavan. I live in Cavan for the last 30 years. And it's a letter to Dean Swift, the author of the famous Gulliver's Travels. And I was always fascinated because I know Tom McIntyre well, and he lived in Quilca House for a period of time. And this poem really is dealing with the notion of a modern comparison and getting the two writers involved, Thomas Sheridan, writing to Dean Swift and inviting his ghost back to Cavan in the 21st century to just have a look at the landscape and to see how things have changed. And I wrote this in the octosyllabic style just to play with the time, because sometimes I like to play around with the metre and the forms and that type of musicality. And Tom Ponsonby was a pet name that Gulliver, or not Gulliver, but the Dean Swift gave to Thomas Sheridan. Okay? A ghostly letter from Sheridan to Swift. Dear hypothetical reader, mon frere, let me swiftly take you away to ghostly noise of yesterday, and you must bend your eyes and ears to songs and rhymes of bygone years, buffoonery and jugglery, idiosyncratic, octosyllabic, a poem's meaning, sense and sound, the likes of which can still be found. Quilca House, 2004. Shades of Sheridan and Swift's lore. Ghosts hover here, words all alone. Silence, the language of the stone. Years have passed since last we conversed, before they walked behind our hearse. Jonathan, come back to Quilca for one long last noisy fracas. We'll visit Shantaman in Vogue and get that old altar to smoke. By Quilca's lakes and Stella's bars we'll pluck amaranthine flowers. Big Doughty will carry your pony, broad dignide farmer from your phone. You remember how the tags could gather, trio, drop and drill from the Gaelic rabble. It's all changed, all different now, to put a cat off her meow. Bobby Yahoo has won the elections, political and other connections. It is his vile, most burning ambition build piggeries without planning permission. Men happy with the change of life, every woman any man's wife. Sex in abundance, they say it's better. Everyone praises the French letter.